Bodybuilding fans around the world, welcome back to another Primetime Muscle. Thank you for joining us. It is great to see you as always. We like to cover just the facts and all the categories here with the real deal Chris Cormier.
What's up? How you doing, brother?
What's up, buddy? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Looking fly. We start out that way, but that's a nice jacket.
Thank you, my man.
Tarek Gilgindi, Super Judge. How are you, my friend?
Doing great, Tim. Great to be here. Love the orange tie combination. And I'm actually overwhelmed by Chris' outfit today.
Stepping it up, shall we?
It's way up.
Going back to classic.
So how's the bodybuilding season shaping up?
Well, you know, I've had a chance to judge a few shows in Asia, Thailand, Japan, and I gotta tell you, I'm a strong believer that we are going to see a lot more Asian competitors in the in the mix when you talk about Olympia. We were not talking about the Brazilians 5 years ago, and now we see a ton of Brazilians. We were not talking about the Germans, and now we have in the classic physique these guys.
2 in the top 5.
Exactly. I think pretty soon we're going to see in the men's physique division and the bikini some of the Asian competitors. They have tiny little waists. They're very genetically gifted.
It's actually beautiful. And some of my favorites are the Korean men's physique guys have insanely good structures.
Absolutely. And in the categories where you don't have to put a lot of muscle, I think they're going to excel.
All right. Well, there are some rivalries that already exist. Chris?
I was just going to say, a lot of the Asians that I deal with that's really into the sport, they really, really, really love the sport. And they put everything they got into doing well in the sport, and it means everything in the world for them to excel. I mean, they do it for not only their own love of the sport, but they want to be known in their country as one of the best, like a legendary person in their country.
Well, as a legendary person in our sport and in our country, we're going to get on to this first topic of the day, which is a rivalry in fitness. That is one of my favorite divisions and one of my favorite rivalries. Missy Truscott and Whitney Jones, Tarek.
So, you know, I thought it was interesting when Chris talked about the 2022 Mr. Olympia, when he said, if Whitney Jones was there, Missy Truscott would not have won. And I was like,
I said that. I didn't say.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like,
I didn't say that, Missy. I didn't say that.
Wow.
I said,
I ain't ever saying that.
That's a bold statement. Why would you say that?
I didn't say that.
If Whitney Jones was there, Missy Truscott would not have won the Olympia.
You know, Chris,
and I don't know. I was like,
not say
Chris,
that.
you need to give specific details why you think that way.
We often wonder what we would do if we didn't do the career that we did, if you weren't a pro bodybuilder, if he wasn't a judge and a promoter. He'd be a bus driver. That's what Tarek would be. You'd be the greatest bus driver with throwing people under the bus while you... Get on, Chris. Nah, forget it. Get under the bus.
Just for the record, Missy, I did not say anything.
I didn't know that this was not supposed to go on the air. And if I made a mistake, Chris, I apologize. But that's what you said last night at dinner. You said, I believe Missy would not have won if Whitney was in the show. If that was a mistake, I want to apologize on the air. I didn't know we should have bring that up.
Luckily, Missy, we all know who the messenger is, so you can take that with a grain of salt. Go ahead.
Tarek, we go back.
So I'm sorry, Tarek. Let's go back to Chris. So you're saying, Chris.
I didn't say anything.
Okay, so now I'm asking you a question. Let's see if you're man enough to look at the camera and have the guts.
I don't have a camera.
So you're saying that if Whitney Jones, if Whitney Jones is there, Missy would have won anyways?
Wow, there's a lot of dead air.
I'm just not going against Missy.
So you're saying Missy Truscott would have defeated Whitney Jones if Whitney Jones was there?
I just saw her yesterday, and
so answer the question, Big Daddy.
I just saw Whitney yesterday.
Well,
and I just saw Missy at the Olympia.
Let's put you back on the spot.
Yeah.
What do you think?
What do you think? Because
what do you mean, you people?
Physique for physique. You know, so much of it is the
Missy won, so
the routine round for them. So physique for physique, you know, where do you put their posing routes?
I think they're with Oksana, I think they're the two best routine players in fitness right now.
You said physique or routine?
Routine.
Yeah. But I'm gonna say, as pure speculation, what would have happened? I think it would have been a 1-point decision, and I don't know which one would win.
Which way? Oh,
1-point decision. I don't know which one.
Duck all the way out the question, huh?
Which one would go?
Let's do it like that, huh?
1-point decision. I don't know which way it would go, but I think it would be one of the closest fitness Olympics.
That's the most diplomatic answer you ever gave.
Here's what I know.
I'm just saying, I think they're very close. And I disagree with you. You were adamant about saying Missy Truscott would beat the hell out of Whitney Jones at the Olympia. I don't think that would be the case. I think it would be a 1-point decision either way.
Here's what I know. You're going to get to solve that this year. Because last talk I had with Whitney, she'll be there. She will be on that stage.
Chris, you know both of them. Do you think there's some tension between them?
I just see a lot of love. I see a lot of love with all of the fitness girls. I see a number of love and support.
You know,
but they want to beat the hell out of each other.
They all want to be the winner.
If they don't win, they want their friends to win.
But that's
the way it is.
Unlike it, I don't know if you guys, how much help you gave each other posing and creating routines.
I helped.
The fitness division.
Sean Ray didn't help anybody.
The fitness division.
He didn't even share the oranges with Kevin LeBron backstage.
Sean didn't even pick me up to go to the gym when my car broke down.
Oh, we went a different place. So the fitness division, I call it the Gilbert Mafia. The fitness division will literally, the competitors will get together and help craft each other's routines and help develop.
There might be some sabotaging on that as well. All I'm saying is
they do want to win.
Whitney and Missy, maybe there's some tension. You know, we'll see. Maybe we should bring them on a live, right before the Olympia.
I think so.
Olympia live, bring them both and resolve that.
For a battle.
So who do you think is the strongest competitors in the fitness?
Physically?
Yeah.
I'm going to say that Missy Truscott, based on her physical exercises, she's stronger than Whitney. I think Whitney is more explosive. Her jumps are more explosive, but physically, Missy might be stronger. Whitney Jones is incredible, and she's got 3 in the bag. Missy got 2, right? So Whitney Jones has won more than Missy, but that's a battle for the ages, those 2 blondes at the Olympia. I would be excited to see them.
When you're talking raw power, you have to put Ariel in that mix, the 2-time Arnold Classic Fitness International champ. The power in her moves, the one hand, the slow. She's very deliberate. You're very deliberate in your moves, in how she holds things for so long.
She is a sweetheart. Everybody in the industry loves her. But I'm going to be quite straightforward here. Even though she won the Arnold, she placed 3rd at the Olympia. I think her best was Arnold Classic 2022.
The Terminator routine.
Correct.
Yeah, that was the best one
I think that was her best performance.
Out of her.
Even though she won the Arnold this year, I don't think that was her best performance. And I still think that if she wants to beat Whitney Jones or Missy Truscott, she needs to go another level. Because when you're talking about Whitney Jones' explosiveness on stage is unmatched. Missy is an athlete. Ariel Kadar, to beat these girls, needs to go one more level. She has the potential. She's young. We're yet to see if she can defeat them.
Is that out of practice, you think? Or is that from, I don't know, getting stronger in the gym? Or better execution?
I think it's better execution because at the Arnold, if you look at her routine at the Arnold, was not her best. There were 2 moments right there where the transitions were not perfect. Okay? And, we noticed that stuff. So it was not her best. But she's so good, she was capable of winning. When you're watching Whitney Jones and Missy Truscott, they are flawless in their transition from beginning to the end. And what I mean transition is a lot of times when they fall hard and they're able to keep the momentum without any disruption. And that's gymnastics 101. That's like the best of the best in the world can do, and some of them cannot. Whitney Jones and Missy have been flawless on that stage. Ariel needs to get to that level to challenge them.
Well, we will see how the Missy and Whitney rivalry shakes out this year at the Olympia.
Leave a comment, guys. Tell us what
Who
you
do you
think.
like? Whitney Jones?
What do you think?
Missy Truscott? Is Chris Cormier wrong? If
And I want to see Missy in the comments.
Get in there, Missy.
Oh, man.
She has no trouble.
Stay away from Missy, man. She gonna come out of that stage and just do a flying kick on your chest if you pick against her.
Did you see her victory lap after the Olympics?
Oh, it was good.
All the postings she was making at her. I mean, she was proud of that win.
She should have been. All right, we'll be back with more Primetime Muscle right after this.
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
And we're back with more Primetime Muscle. Moving on to men's physique. There are some interesting rivalries right now. We have a very dominant figure in Aaron Banks. And one of the things we love about Aaron Banks, not a shy guy.
Nope, not shy at all.
He had a little back and forth. He's had a little back and forth with a few guys. But Diogo Montenegro recently.
Very nicely pronounced, Tim.
Thank you.
Montenegro.
For somebody that lives in Florida, you know more Brazilians than I've ever known in my life.
Well, Aaron had some choice words for Diogo's shoulders.
What are those words?
Well, yeah, some guys they don't like each other. That's part of the sport. These guys they hate each other. Okay. Oh, Terry,
Really?
don't use the word hate. Well, that's how they feel about each other.
Really?
Okay. Yes, Diogo Montenegro was very specific in Portuguese because I speak the language and says my shoulder has separation. My shoulder has the striations, when I'm really defined. You don't get to see that on Aaron Banks.
Oh.
Making an assumption that Aaron Banks' shoulders are somehow suspect or present some type of imbalance. That did not go well with Aaron Banks.
Oh.
Aaron Banks is a cool, collected guy. He's a family guy.
But he trash-talked a lot last year.
If you come his way,
He's from Fresno.
He's from Fresno.
Ooh. They don't think they play. They don't play.
And he's like, hey,
Fresno Bulldogs.
listen, you can say whatever you want from me. Just be ready for the counterattack. And he went after Diogo. He said,
What did he say?
You're a little man with five abs with 5 little blocks,
Yeah.
And,
Not
obviously.
a man of the 8-pack.
So they started attacking each other. Felipe Franco, who's this mega social media influencer, one of the first ones to compete in men's physique, came in defense of his back rival
5-pack
Diogo and
guy?
said, I don't think this guy should be the men's physique Olympia. Not to me. He shouldn't be the men's physique Olympia.
Oh, wow.
And then
That's throwing mud.
and then Aaron Banks is like, okay, my ass might go down to Brazil and take your qualification away. So I mean, things are getting hairy here because the men said, remember when we had Andrew Ferguson and Brandon Hendrickson? They were gonna scramble in Orlando a few years ago. You know what I mean? Everybody had their board shorties rolling, like, oh, this is gonna happen.
Well, Aaron he had some choice words for people last year as well. There were a couple of guys as he racked up his wins that on his train to winning the Olympia.
Yeah,
was
he
not
had
shy.
arguments with Jeremy Buendia. He blocked Jeremy Buendia, and then I think he blocked some other guys. If you come to his social media or you don't like him, he blocks everybody. I mean, it's his social media. He does whatever he wants, but that's his strategy. And
People don't like it.
Jeremy Buendia was like, are you scared to see my progress? Is that why you're blocking me? I mean, I don't know. Chris is tight with Jeremy. Jeremy, he's a fiery one.
I'm tight. Well, I mean, it's competition, and I'm sure a lot of it's not totally personal. And I don't know, man. I like the going back and forth. It fueled me to look even better than I probably would have if I didn't have some kind of edge or some kind of separate chip on my shoulder getting ready for a show. I wanted it. I invited it.
So you're in the pre-social media, trash talk era.
Right.
Who would you have trash talked and how to get in their head?
I'd probably have to go with Flex Wheeler because just knowing him so well, I know what buttons to push and what buttons not to push. And just like we would go into the pose room together, myself, him and Flex, Rico McClinton and Flex, and I mean, we'd be in there till we were falling asleep in between. But we knew, if you said one thing negative to Flex, he's gonna, at that time, defriend you or block you. He would do a personal block on you. Back in the day, he wouldn't talk to you for a few weeks, just because
that was a real block.
Yeah, but he would ask Rico, "Hey, how do you think I look?" And Rico's like, "Want me to be honest, homie? You look fat." And then he was just like pissed. And then he would be walking past Rico for like 2 weeks, and then he slowly started to talk to him again. So he kind of unfriended Rico for that. But just going back and forth with someone that you're trying to derail out of their. I remember one time I went up to Mike Matarazzo, and I heard he was saying something about me negatively, like I didn't belong on stage with him and Flex getting ready for the USA. And so he was doing leg curls, and I went up into him and I whispered in his ear, I said, "You better do these hamstrings, because you ain't got shit between those arms and those calves." And then I walked away.
Yes.
And he didn't want to scramble with you?
He didn't say nothing. I walked away, he didn't say nothing. Didn't say nothing.
So back to these guys. So we always wonder, what is hype and what is playful banter? What are they trying to get in each other's heads? But then you got guys like Bob Ciccarello that said from the podium at these big shows, he can hear these guys dicing it up. They go to hit their back pose, their faces away from the audience, and they're just trash talking up a storm.
It's kind of interesting, but there's more trash talk among the men's physique competitors than any other division combined. The bodybuilders, they don't trash talk. I wonder why, Why do you think that is, Chris?
Well, because you guys, when you first started this thing, it was more like the more glamour guys, the hair, some people was wearing makeup, and some people was wearing eyeliner back in the day when they first started this thing, but they were known as the pretty boys up there.
No, eyeliner?
Looking like the...
Eyeliner?
I'm just saying, I saw a lot of things.
I saw makeup. I'm okay. Some guys who come, but eyeliner.
Yeah,
I saw a lot of things going on.
When that guy from Poison did Men's Physique, yeah.
Eyeliner.
But anyway.
Wow.
But anyway, yeah. So they were known as the pretty boys, and they had the perfect hair, and they wanted to have the more good-looking guys winning the shows and everything. And I don't know. It just always had that type of attitude of they're going to be more, dare I say, catty. I don't mean catty in the...
Bob Ciccarello said, Tarek, the reason they argue so much is because they have more energy than those guys, because they never get to work out legs. Oh man. Bob.
Don't get us canceled.
Bob, don't get us canceled with these comments, okay? Okay, Bob, stop right there.
Yeah, we're gonna put an end to Bob with that.
Well, we got a lot of the same cast of characters qualifying for this year's Olympia, so we're gonna see a lot of the same guys. Who's in that top five? It
was Aaron Banks, Brandon Hendrickson, Diogo Montenegro, Charjo Grant, and in fifth, Edivan Palmeira. Your favorite guy, Daniel Amons, that won those two shows, might be back to storm the stage. We have Kaique de Oliveira, who went back on the first call out at the Arnold Classic. So we might have a shakeup, and you never know. Brandon Hendrickson, don't discount the champion. A lot of times people play second place and guys start talking about new guys. He can come back and he regained that title. And him and Aaron Banks, they dislike each other to the max.
Yes.
Max.
It wouldn't be anything more perfect for Brandon Hendrickson to be the last man standing and take that trophy from the heart.
He wants that.
From the heart of Aaron Banks.
For the third time reclaiming
He wants to win so
he
bad.
would just take that trophy from the heart of Aaron Banks.
He wants to win that trophy
beating
back
heart,
so bad.
like the karate master.
You know, I did a live with them, and there's a lot of tension between those two guys.
Well, that's the way it is, though. But I love it. I think it's going to make them better. And Flex said himself, I said, even Sean Ray said himself, when he knows someone wants to beat them so bad, that makes them better because they're going to go even that much harder.
And what year did Buen Diaz? Oh, you know, what year did Buen Diaz say he's coming back? Is it this year? He doesn't have to qualify as a former Mr. Olympia.
Right. But I mean, he's put on a lot of muscle. I just hope it's going to, turn out
lot of muscle.
because these guys been actually competing, and he's actually not been competing.
He took some time off for a baby.
So
Chris.
you don't believe
No,
he
the
can
baby
make an
just
impact?
happened. The baby
so
just
Chris,
happened.
you don't believe Jeremy can make an impact?
I didn't say he
That's
can
how
make
you
an
make it sound.
I'm saying it's kind of it's a steep hill to climb when these guys been conditionally competing.
So you don't believe in him?
I said he's gonna have a steep hill to climb when these guys been competing.
Oh, that's fine. We respect your opinion, Chris. This is just the facts. If you don't think the guy can impact,
I said he could do
even
really
though he
well.
won 4 times, we respect your opinion.
What's gonna happen? We don't know.
No, we respect
That's
your
why we got to
opinion.
go to the show. That's
It's
why you got
quite
to buy the
bold
tickets.
statement, but we respect it.
Leave in the comments what you guys think.
We got to go back and as we wrap this
Leave
up.
in the comments if you think if you agree with Chris Cormier that
not
Jeremy
about me.
Buendia has no shot
I
at
didn't
the
say
Olympia. Leave a comment if you agree, yes or no.
I didn't say that.
Facts, not in evidence. Kaiki looks amazing too. He's going to make a big impact this year. I promise you that. And Edwin Palmero, amazing physique.
So he placed 5th, and then he decided to gain 12 pounds or 15 pounds of muscle between the Olympia and the Arnold, and that did not work out well for him. Kaiki, who was on the 3rd call out of the Olympia, came to the Arnold, and he was a lot better. Kaiki is one of the most focused guys, and a lot of times, all it takes is for him to relax a few days before the show. This is going to be a very exciting men's physique Olympia showdown.
It will in just a few months. We've got a very exciting close to the show today when we come back on Primetime Muscle.
People always ask how I got here. I was willing to work just a little harder than everyone else. Every damn day. If I can have hundreds of hours back, you know I'm gonna grab them. Spending hours prepping chicken, rice, and vegetables, F that. I rely on perfect nutrition. I rely on trifecta.
And we're back on Primetime Muscle. We talked after the Olympia, and a few months later had the Arnold Classic. And now a few months later, we're coming back closer to an Olympia. Big Rami, guys. What did he do, and what's his shot this year?
Well, to me, he made a great change and a great improvement from the Olympia. I think a lot of people can attest to that. He improved his back. That was the key area that everyone's looking at the most. He improved his condition, improved some of the body shots, the most muscular, the front double. All these things improved. The legs improved, but more dugout definition would increase his placing. And I feel like the back double bicep vastly improved. I really like the back double bicep. And just continuing to get those lower lat areas, insertion areas improved. I think that's going to bring him back to form. And you got to get those legs can be leaner. I've seen them leaner than that.
So, Tarek, we'll start with the legs, and you can move from there. Did his legs get overpowering to his upper body?
Absolutely. Absolutely. His legs are taking his physique out of balance. I mean, most of the times we're telling competitors, you need more legs. I wish, Big Rami could cut a few slices and give to Nick Walker, and then Nick would have those flaring quads and smaller waist. But the legs are overpowering the physique. I agree with Chris. We need to see more separation. Now, that stem cell thing that he did, remember he had those holes on both quads. That was fixed. I give credit to him. On the back, obviously he improved because one of the most shocking things for me judging the Mr. Olympia was when he turned to the back and he hit the back double biceps, but he was pinching. He never really opened his back double biceps. I was shocked. I could not believe what I was seeing. And at the Arnold Classic, he comes out and he opens his back double biceps like a bodybuilder, like he's been doing his whole life. Do I think his lower back improved? Not really. The lats are high, right? That there's a space on the lower half. But I think he improved the pose because now he opened the back double biceps. So now we're not focusing on two mistakes, a pinched back and a very high lat. We're just looking at a weak lower back, and now we have a powerful upper back. If you can fix the lower back with stem cell, with whatever, great. But at this time, he's at 50% on that pose. At the Olympia, he was 0%. And, you know, he could be more conditioned on the midsection. Chris is right.
Yeah, but they were strategically trying to keep the back a little bit more contracted. And I don't think they took into account how they may look and how they may look next to.
Who had that strategy, Chris?
That's just what Chad said, that he was trying out a new pose to try to hide something that that was
offset that maybe injury we talked about.
Yeah, of his back. So they thought, but when you sit in there by yourself and you're not being compared to someone else, and you do something different like that, you don't know how that's going to play out when you get next to another competitor.
Well, I'm going to guarantee you, and I want to go on record on this, pinching your back might never be a better strategy than opening your back, okay? When they turn to the back and we announce back double biceps, we want them to hit a back double biceps without any pinching. And I don't recommend Big Rami ever doing that again, or any bodybuilder. When he opened his back at the Arnold, it was a much better shot. And now that we're getting close to the Olympia, he should do that. I give credit to Chad Nichols because the improvement that they made from the Olympia to the Arnold was great. And I think if they continue on this pace, Big Rami can start returning to that top performance. It's incredible because I was one of the guys that once you see somebody with an injury, especially a Mr. Olympia, you got Dorian Yates, Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, Phil Heath, they had injuries and they went away. Maybe this stem cell thing is the future of bodybuilding. Maybe if you have an injury and you have this treatment, we see this with Big Rami, maybe we can extend the career of bodybuilders.
Chris, let me ask you this, because you get to train around a lot of these guys, and you know Dennis. Any idea how Rami trains?
He does a lot of volume. He's a strong guy, but he does, at least I would say between 15 and 20 repetitions a lot of times. But he's another one that I feel like his answer is going to come from the gym. It's going to come from the work that he puts in physically as he gets older and getting close to that, to the 38 and 39-year-old mark. It's going to come what you do in the gym, and you can't rest on your laurels. You got to step it up physically and mentally.
There's a reason I'm asking, because one of the biggest issues with these guys is controlling those abs and controlling the side-to-side width of the trunk and the torso. A lot of those big, heavy power moves, your deadlifts, your squats, thicken that midsection. Should he start adjusting his training to be more artistic at this point?
Well, totally artistically, because you got to put together your physique that way. You got to say, okay, do I have enough on the legs? Yes. Can I back off on the legs? Yes, I can. Do I need to put more emphasis on my back and my whole backside? Yes, you do. He's always had great abs, and I feel like keep working the chest and just keep balancing out that physique artistically, and I think that's going to bring him back to the promised land.
And Tim, you bring up a good point. Big Rami won the New York Pro in 2013. You can see by the pictures that his waist is a lot smaller. And that's why we, as judges, we are always telling competitors, this is bodybuilding. And it's an artistic sport where you have to sculpt your body. Guys like Derek Lunsford, Samson Dauda, Nick Walker, they're starting their career. They're gaining a lot of muscle. But you want to make sure that your waist stays tight, that stays controlled. It looks beautiful. It looks aesthetically pleasing. And we don't want them to have this expanded waist, bloated abdominal section. Big Rami, with all these years, you can clearly see that waist has expanded. And that goes to every category. Some wellness girls, they go, well, I think my waist is too thick. And then, like Chris said, you go back to exercises and they're doing all these heavy squats. In order to stabilize your physique, you're going to grow that. So you need to do more isolated exercises to make sure the waist stays small. The smaller the waist, the more aesthetically pleasing you're going to look.
Also, back in the day, we used to have, Tarek, is a measuring tape. I don't know if they still have them. I think they're all on the cell phones now. But we used to measure the quads, the calves, the neck, the biceps, your waist area, and strategically put yourself together, being that you want your calves, your biceps, and your neck all around the same circumference. You wanted your waist and your quads to be, artistically put together. So you're bringing, as small as waist possible, quads as big as they can be, and also put in balance out the rest of your physique. So when you go to compete, you're just going to look like a symmetrical, balanced Chris Cormier.
Ideally, I'm going to ask this question.
Listen.
So ideally, though, for the young competitors from around the world that are saying, all right, how do I put myself together artistically? There are those symmetrical body parts. Calves and biceps should be close. What else?
Well,
what other ratios should we be looking at?
It depends on your category. So if you're in wellness, then you're able to have like a little bit smaller upper body as opposed to the lower body. If you're in figure, you want to be perfect symmetry and the small waist, and then
Classic and men's open. Where are we looking?
Classic and men's open, you're looking at the same thing. You want at least, depends on how tall you are. Your quad's going to be in the upper 27, 28 area, 29. Calves around 18 to 19, 20.
Well,
possibly.
If you look at Big Rami right now, his quads are overpowering his physique because his waist is getting thicker, and now his lats are now not with the angle that they were in 2013. So the angle of his waist to the lats in 2013 was like this.
You mean from the back?
And it had the same, from the front. And it had the same angle from the front. Remember we were looking at Michael Krizo a few weeks ago where he has the quads, but he doesn't have the lats. So he needs to balance it out. He needs to go, if I'm getting this kind of angle to my quads, I need to have the same kind of angles to my lats.
And that's going to be a lot of pullovers.
Yeah, and you have to know your body. Branch Warren had huge legs. He needed to contain the development on the legs and grow the upper body. And some guys may be the opposite. We talk about competitors that need to grow a little bit more of the quads. Nick Walker come to mind. If Nick Walker grows his quads, right, then he starts becoming more aesthetically pleasing. You have to look objectively to your body and say, hey, I have enough of this, I need more of that.
Yes. And give us your thoughts. Give us some more of this and some more of that. What do you think of Big Rami? What he needs to do? What, as a community of support, what you all need to do to bring it up? And like, subscribe, share with your friends. Guys, as always, thank you both for your expertise.
All right.
Real deal.
Thanks for coming again.
Tarek Gilgindi.
Smile. The director tells us to smile.
I didn't leave you hanging. We'll see you next time on the next Primetime Muscle.